My name is Katie McGrath and I play Ariane, who is Alaïs's older sister. To be included with a cast like this, you know, with John Hurt and Jessica and Vanessa is unbelievable, and, you know, to be mentioned in the same breath is a privilege. I mean, I suppose to explain where we are now, you need to understand the way the story works. Is it jumps between sort of the 1200s in Carcassonne in France, and then it jumps through to modern day France as well. So it's the two stories running parallel. You've got a modern story and a period story. And so right now we're in sort of a period set reimagining of Carcassonne. And what's amazing is the art director told me that they actually went and they have matched the streets for streets, so that they're the same dimensions. There's a well over there that exists in the town, but they've just sort of imagined it what it would have looked like in the 1200s, but it's sort of a direct map of the modern day, which happens a lot in this series. There's a lot of things that exist in the medieval story but then are mapped very well in the modern. So there's this nice sort of correlation between the two. What's great about Labyrinth is there are 4 extremely strong female roles played by, you know, Claudia and me. They're all, every character has a direct correlation in the modern story. So every role is played almost the same role, but by 2 people in 2 different stories. So Claudia and I play the same role, and Vanessa and Jess play the same role. And it's rare in such a large undertaking for the 4 main characters to be sort of such strong and sort of empowered female roles, especially when you're doing something in medieval. It tends to be sort of very shy and sweet and nice, and in this it's not that, it's totally the opposite case. So, you know, from a woman's point of view, you want to be involved in something like that. You want to play, you know, a woman that you're proud of and that you can sort of say to everybody else, yes, you should be like her, and Labyrinth does give you that. Basically, Ariane is Alaïs's older sister, and I think she feels that she has been maligned throughout her entire life, and as for reasons that you discover later on, she feels that she has been very unloved and treated badly within the family, and it makes her a little bit twisted, to say the least. And you see very soon that she's been having an affair with her sister's husband, and while he may be tortured or tormented about it, she's not like that. She's sort of very free with who she is, and when Ariane wants something, she wants it, and she doesn't care who it hurts that she gets it. And when she discovers that her father has chosen Alaïs over her to guard this great secret, it drives her a little bit insane, and I think a lot of what she has done after that point is coloured by the fact that she feels that she has been let out of the family and she's not part of it. And so I think in her head she goes, you know, if I'm not part of this, I'm really going to make it not part of this. And she is driven to, you know, make everybody pay, and I think that's what she does throughout of it. She wants everybody to hurt as much as she is, and that's what she ends up doing. She goes a little bit far, but, you know. He wanted everything in this, when I first met him about it all, he was very insistent that everything should be very real. You know, I think there's a lot of sort of fantasy medieval around at the minute. I mean, I do a job that is absolutely part of that, and you've got Game of Thrones and all of these things, and I think he wanted to make this different and make it very, you know, realistic. I mean, all the actors are pared right down. We have very little hair, very little makeup, very little, you know, all of that. Everything is sort of grubby and dirty, and he wanted it to feel, the medieval story anyway, very realistic, and I think that comes over in all the acting. He wants everything to be as much as possible for you to feel like you're in 1209 in Carcassonne. So with him, when he was talking about it, it was a very important part for him that everything felt gritty and dirty and medieval. So the more blood we had, the more disgustingness, the more... Chris is a fan of the dirt and the... Yeah, you'll see when you see it, when you watch it. You know you've done good when Chris laughs like a 5-year-old. And it kind of takes a while to get used to it, because you're doing these like really intense scenes and you'll be crying and like you're giving it everything and you've just killed your father and everything's terrible, and then there's this giddy little laugh off set. And he has this thing, he laughs during takes. Tony Curran, who plays my husband, is the funniest man ever. And Chris loves him, but during every take he's just laughing. And I think for an actor, at first you're feeling this is a little bit weird because this is very serious, but no, everything's a big joke on this set. I mean, it's all very serious and we're all working very hard, but I've never worked with a whole group of people that are on the same buzz all the time and just, you know, work so hard but really enjoy what they're doing at the same time and really buy into it. I mean, that's what's great about Chris, is every single scene, he finds something in it that he loves, and these little twisted bits of it that he wants to bring in, like, you know, shooting a child with a crossbow, and, you know, he wants everything to be as real as possible. And when you've got a director that's that passionate and is that into every little thing, you know, it makes you want to be part of that as well, and it makes you feel that you can sort of try new and different things that not necessarily you hadn't come in that morning thinking of. There's a scene with me and Jess, and we're up a tower and we're watching, again, Transvaal and Guillaume, they're all talking about going to war, and he's giving this stirring speech, and we had about 7 minutes at the end of the day to film the entire thing, and it was only my second day of filming. So it was like guerrilla filmmaking. We're in this tiny stairwell, which for some reason on film sets, things are never really built to scale because you have to fit a whole crew up there. But for some reason, this medieval spiral staircase was built properly to scale, which means it's tiny. So you've got like 15 people stuck up this staircase and another 15, so there's just me and Jess standing in this light with 7 minutes to get 3 scenes done. And it was the end of the day and my second day of filming. And it was one way to get really to know the crew in a very intimate way. But that was great as well, because you didn't have time to think, you just had to do it, you know, quickly and get it done. So scenes are fun for different reasons, and never the ones that you expect. You think that a giant big banquet party scene is going to be fun, and they never are. They're long and tedious. But it's the ones that you don't expect that you have laughs at. And that's what's great about the job, because you don't know what to expect on a day-to-day basis. That mountain, beautiful. You get up there and it's stunning, but something I've learned about Cape Town is you can wake up and it'll be beautiful weather, and 5 minutes later it'll be raining, 5 minutes later there'll be snow, and then it'll be sunny again. And with the wind here, you really understand why it was very difficult for sailors to get ships around the bottom of it. You were blown off your feet. So when you're up on the side of a mountain, there's nothing to break the wind. All day we were thrown all over the place. It was about 2 degrees. So you can see behind the camera, I'm sure Felix, who's a very nice man doing our EPK, will show you all the crew are all like wrapped up in big, you know, big puffer jackets and scarves and hats. And then there's me, actually in this dress, not a lot going on here, freezing my ass off. And what was part of my death scene, so I'm lying there on the ground. And as we were driving up, one of the drivers, is a guy called Yanni, turns around to me and goes, you know, this is a snake rehabilitation area? This is where they release snakes back into the wild who obviously have been mistreated and hate humans and are angry at us. And I'm going, okay, so I'm lying on the ground with obviously all these very angry snakes coming to get me. And he's trying to give me this sort of like tutorial about, okay, right, Katie, if in South Africa, if there's small scorpions, the smaller the worse. It's the big ones you don't have to worry about. And I'm like, okay, so tell me about snakes. He goes, no, just stay away from all of them. And I'm going, oh my God, I'm going to be lying on the ground. It is absolutely like two 90-minute feature films. And the production values on this, the art direction, I mean, I've never seen anything like it. And this set, which is lovely, is actually going to stay here. Because so often when you do something, they build something and the sets, and they put so much time and energy into it, and then they're all ripped down afterwards. But this has sort of a sense of permanency, and it's nice to know that all this effort has gone into something that's going to stay after we've gone, and it's so beautiful. I mean, I've never seen, these do look like flats, but half of them you can go back into and you can film inside of them. I mean, they're really, it does feel like this sort of bizarre medieval French village in South Africa, which is a bit weird. Bella plays Bertrand, which is hilarious, because in the story, I'm really spend most of the story with a knife at her throat and threatening to kill her, but she's just the cutest, loveliest little child. I swear to God, I just wanted to pick her up and take her home. And one of the makeup artists was saying there was a scene where I'm literally have her like this, and I've got a knife to her throat, and you know, I'm threatening to kill her. And he said it was really funny watching you, because you went from picking her up and going, you all right, Bella, everything okay? He said, I watched you on it, your face just changed and you looked like you wanted to kill her, and it was really horrible. And I'm going, God, she didn't think that, did she? Where is she? I've got to tell her, I don't want her to hurt her, it's fine.